Epic Morning is brought to you by Christy Sports Local Bike Shop with the Valley's newest full-service bike shop in West Vail and rental bikes available in Vail Village.
Thank you, Maddie, and thank you so much to Christy Sports. Love Christy Sports, especially this time of year, because that's where I go to get everything for winter, whether it's my snowboard boots or my board or my bindings or my base layers. They have everything. Also, oh my goodness, Hans Herner from Christy Sports, he's getting married in 3 days. So 4 days, 3 days, 4 days, he's coming up. He's getting married in 4 days officially. So congratulations to Hans and his lovely bride. But Chaco and I are out here this morning. Can you see my breath? Yep. 30 degrees, and we're standing next to the covered bridge right here in Vail, which is kind of the entry point into all sorts of adventures in Vail Village. And this bridge was originally constructed in the 60s by John and Sissy Dobson, and you might recognize that name from the Dobson Ice Arena. John was one of our first mayors here in Vail, and so you can see that they have a plaque out here for John and Sissy. There it is up there, John and Sissy Dobson Covered Bridge. But the town, when they initially got here from the East Coast, they didn't have the money to put a cover on the bridge, and John and Sissy had started their own store called the Covered Bridge Store, just as kind of a nod to their East Coast roots. And so they went ahead and offered to pay to cover the bridge, and so that's why we have this really magnificent structure and icon in Vail that welcomes us each and every winter season. And of course, Vail will be opening for the season coming up on November 16th. Now also, I do have to mention that Sissy had quite the sense of humor. She ordered an igloo off of, I think it was like this, out of the Sears catalog or Nordstrom catalog, something like that. Anyway, she constructed an igloo in their front yard, and in the 70s, City Council would have meetings in there, and they hung Christmas lights on the interior, and it would start to melt some of the ice, whoever sat underneath those particular lights, and whoever got dripped on the most was considered the hottest of the day. And so they had quite the sense of humor, and they also left us with such a beautiful way to kind of kick off our adventures here in Vail. Coming up, if you are suffering from some altitude symptoms, we have some great tips for you to help combat that.